Hello my friends, the video is made in the evening and it will be posted in the morning Monday. So we have a few days to New York. Everything the best for you guys for the New Year, and hopefully the next year it will be better. And whoever is first time on my channel, I'm seeing answers as a psyche in the pictures, and then I have to figure out what that picture mean related to the question. So that's the reason I have to sometimes feel confused, but because I don't have anyone to ask me today questions, I'm doing them on my own, and I have them ready. The questions are from comment sections, so whoever wants to send questions for me, please send them through the comment section. Okay, Cheryl, my girlfriend, just ask me, because we know that Don signed the relief agreement. He could do that before he went on vacations. Why did he wait? But why did he give in and sign this? And as the answer, I saw King George. English King George was a symbol to most of, kind of to everyone, that he got kind of cuckoo. He got some mental problems and he was not responding the proper way. And eventually that day, doctors had to restrict him. So I don't know why he did that, the drawing of the King George. I will see why did he give up and sign the contract, because he could do it a few days ago and it will be less stress, better Christmas for people. So that's not rational. He didn't win too much. It's not that he was even working during that time, so he was just golfing. Yeah, he was thinking about that decision, postponing the decision, not working too much. As I said, it's always half horse for me. It's kind of related. That card is for me related, not working too much. And worry about make people, so many people, depressed about during the Christmas time, if they will have enough money to pay for the apartments, for food. So yeah, maybe the cuckoo king who had mental problem, maybe that's the answer. Who knows? Cheryl, again, she is my girlfriend. Will more relief payments came prior to Biden's inauguration, or do people need to wait for Biden to become president? And I saw a hole in the garden, deep hole. So it was kind of confusing. So I was sharing that, messaging Cheryl with me, and we are digging holes in the garden when we want to plant a big tree. Something big has to be planted, so you have to dig the hole. So the hole is already digged. Don said that he wants to make commitment for $2,000. Pelosi said, okay, I'm for it. And knowing Don, he will probably push his people. It's only 3 weeks since he will be leaving the presidential post, so he will be moved. I think it's not enough time for them to do it, but who knows? It's ready to be planted. The judgment might be coming. a lot of work. They can, if they want, they can force themselves to work, and they have to make a lot of good decisions. So I'm not saying that it's impossible, but usually when we are planting, it's in the spring. So I think, okay, that's my guessing, that that's the time related. She was asking about the time, and I think it's probably more successful under Biden. Mary Belgrzyn, I'm reading your name Polish way. Please tell me if Don Don will declare martial law. He will be shouting, the symbol of voice, screaming, shouting, but I didn't see this as a symbol of... So people are shouting when they are in a panic mood. Normal people don't shout. When someone has total control, they are usually very calm. They know what they are doing. They don't need to have a hot temper. So I will see if there will be a martial law. Because I think that he will have some opposition, and he already had some opposition. He wants to do it right away, now. King of Love. He will have to have companion of people who will be supportive of him. They will have to love him. I don't think those are dark cards. I don't think that they are with swords or something like that. So I don't think he will have the power. He will be screaming. He will be yelling. But that's who he is in White House. People are used to it, that he has to scream and have those crazy moments of being furious. Julie Henderson. Don silence, shouts loud. Did he direct this action to ignore previous warning? This was related to that guy in the RV. I don't think it was... We don't know why Don is quiet. We don't have any information who that guy was, because he committed a suicide, where he learned how to be so good with making those explosives, how what is all about this Alexander Quinn, that's his name, because they didn't told us. They just said the name, but there is no picture, nothing. He was quite well off, because the big house that he was living in and the RV that he sacrificed. So if he will be a good father, he will leave that vehicle to others and he will sacrifice. There is something we don't know. There was some negotiation that didn't went the way the guy wanted to go. So, yeah, what kind of family he was? He had some background related to army or police or something like that, that he was well educated, how there was woman in his life, but I don't know if he was still alive, or she probably left or died, and he was depressed. Maybe he was blaming those waves, 5G, or who knows. Maybe that was the reason he was doing this attack. But it looks like he was belonging to me, in my mind, to a big group of people who were very supportive of that movement. So we will have to learn more about him. If I was calling this fireworks, I don't want to say what it was in the back alley in Nashville. I'm just calling this fireworks. You know what I'm talking about. Is this fireworks, Julie Henderson, is this fireworks in Nashville a microvision of future possible acts, and it's just a warning? I saw a field of corn. You are quite confused when you are going in the corn, so you don't know what's going on few steps ahead of you. It is pretty, people, we don't know what's going on, and so I think we might expect more things coming, but it is so unknown to us what will happen. We have to be very cautious, very careful, so we are not hurt, and because there will be some surprises. So we have to be aware that there might be other attacks like that, because there is no, I can't promise that it will be quiet. It might be something more coming out of the cornfields. In the next city to us, there was always a maze in the cornfields, and my boys were happy to go there and be lost for a few hours and finding the way eventually. But it was taking them a while to go through that, navigate the way through the fields, mice, I think that's what they call them, through the cornfields. Donald Stanfield. How can USA improve from gridlock and corruption in government? What should they do? And destroy the roots of the corruption. You have weeds, you have to go sometimes by the roots. And the corruption is because Reagan allowed politicians to be paid by donors. So the corruption, as long as that will be in the system, that the big donors can control the politicians, there is no way they can stop the big money. They are going after the big money. They feel that will help them to achieve the goals, to be on the posts, to be chosen ones, and to be the winners. So you have to understand that that's not every country has that ability to be as corrupt as USA. Our politicians I'm from Canada, Alberta. You can't donate more than $5,000 to a politician, so they are not going to risk too much for $5,000. Probably they are getting money, but they taking the risk, and they are afraid of being caught. So I don't, even a plane by someone, if someone gave a free trip to the island by his own plane to our Prime Minister Trudeau, then Trudeau was in the deep water about that. So they are keeping eye on corruption, and because in USA is so openly allowed. Patty Thompson, thank you. Please let us know if they will remove Don Don when the time comes. And I saw like a top from the stroller. You know, the one that has two handles and you carry the baby without using the stroller. You are just taking the top and walking with the child. It's like a big bag. I remember I came from the hospital 2 weeks later. We took our youngest one and we went for the show, and he was in that bag. it was a rock and jam show. Yeah, it was something practical, and I think they will treat him like a big baby and remove him. So, will they remove him? Because the new leader is coming, by then they will have to backstab Don. It's not hurt his feelings, kind of. He will be put with the sword and removed. Time for change. The death is symbol of changes, so no matter how much he will be crying like a little baby, they will grab him, and it's just illusion. It's just related to the vision. It's not that will happen for real, but you have to imagine that something similar will happen. Jane Cox. Will Iran negotiate friendly with love when Biden is the president in the president's seat? They will actually plant together the peace tree, symbol of some friendship. Like I remember Don and Macron planted one tree in front of I think on Parliament in that place. So I don't think it was in the White House, but I know that they were planting, not that they knew what they are doing, but and the tree didn't last too long, and their friendship didn't last too long, because somehow, intuitively we know that it will be different talk. The strength, yes, they will let them to feel strong, but then America will be the country that will be more like a mother country to Iran. Mary Benjamin again. Will Don actually be locked up in the prison for a long time for everything he did? I wish that would be the truth, but I saw the ship moving away, so it looks like he will ship away, run away. And I saw him on some island long time ago, so I don't know if he will wait. They may help him to and it is like a cruise ship. And we know that the cruises are not active right now, so maybe eventually he will run, but we will see. Will he be able, will he go to be locked up? Now he will go different direction. He will go for quieter place, somewhere outside the border, different side, and he will be still very active. He will be making always fire. He will keep us all the time on our toes. Caroline Rado. Can you see how Queen Elizabeth health is? And Queen Elizabeth is 93. For her age, I think she looks great. She feels great. She doesn't have any really big issues with herself. She, as a small child, she had a smallpox. So her children and grandchildren are still protected from the smallpox. I think she survived that. She apparently had some issues with her skin. My grandfather survived as a young man and as a young child, and all his life you could see that imperfection on his skin. I don't see that with Queen Elizabeth. Her skin looks beautiful, so how hard was that illness on her? I don't see that on her. Maybe she had, and maybe they were able to fix somehow this with some plastic plastic operations or whatever. Apparently there are pictures of her having that illness as a young person, but my mom is a little bit older than her, and my mom is stuck in the bed. Queen Elizabeth was making a Christmas speech. Unless something will hit her, she is fine. And I will pull 3 cards for her, how she is doing. We are always worried about her husband, but no, she is still celebrating. She will be still celebrating. Her mother was living under 102 or 103. She is still in the out, and about. So, and she's still enjoying her life. She doesn't have too many problems. Her mother had a hip problems, but we don't see that Queen Elizabeth is even. She's always having the little high heels, not too high, but for her age, that's an achievement. Regina. Why Nashville was chosen for that bombing? Because the guy was from Nashville. So it was easy for him, and he had some issues. They don't want us to know what the issues was, what they were negotiating with him, because he thought that he has ability to get out of it. He won everyone. So he didn't want to cause that. He thought that he might be stopped, but he wasn't. That's my feeling. Because people who wants to be nasty to the core, he will not do any warnings. He will go straight forward. But he did. He was warning. So he had that feeling that I will gain something out of that. Why it was. Maybe I will have some clue from the cards. Why was the Nashville the place? Sharing something related to money. He was sick, so maybe he was blaming 5G for him being sick, and he wanted to start maybe some movement, something new. So it was like for him something was very important, and I have the feeling that in the last words before the explosion he was saying something, not only counting. They are telling us that he was only counting, but no, he was hoping that something will come out of it. They found him really fast where he was living, so it looks like they have a clue more than they are telling us. Red threads. Who is behind the horrific act in Nashville? And his name is Anthony Quinn Warner. He's 63 years old, and it's odd. Anthony Quinn was the star who was in the movie Greg Zorba. That's Polish way we were translating. It could be differently named in English. And in that movie, it's just a name, coincident. But in that movie, the Greg Zorba, the whole mine collapsed, and him and his friends lost so much money, and they are laughing about that. That's much I remember, because it was in the 60s or 70s, the movie that was popular that time. And we don't know anything about his private life, if he had kids, so there is some reason they are keeping so many secrets. Usually they will say someone had mental illness or someone was doing this. Yeah. Why, we don't know. Maybe that they will tell us, but it's not. Something is very, very fishy. Fran George, Maria. Maria's from Maria's table. She said her husband Scott has a temperature and was taken to a hospital. But that was a few days ago, and I was watching her last video, and she's saying that she's doing okay, and she was very positive. But we have to include her in our circle of good love, good energy. Kathleen White, could it be that suicide bomber I had the day? That was the body of the suicide bomber, the guy who committed that fireworks. That was his body. So they found some members of his family to find the DNA. That was fast. Okay. Patty Thompson, when the pandemic will be ending? And I saw someone tidying up the belt. Like, it's tied the belt means, at least in Polish, you have to restrict yourself. You can't do this, you can't go to restaurants, you can't travel, you have to save the money for something. But in this situation, you have to go, excuse me, for some restrictions, self-discipline, because you have a bigger goal to achieve. And that's a symbol of tight the bell. And I think when people will be obedient and they will be trying to control themselves, for good reason, to have a good outcome. Usually it's related to saving the money, but that's just a saying. And Hope Crable, I hope I'm pronouncing this right way, her mother was born in 1910. But in the 1960s, she gave advice to young girl who had a bad acne. And she told her to use her own peel to put on the face so she will had a better skin. And apparently that was helpful. And Mike wrote me, Native Americans was using little boy's pee for the wounds. So yes, we were talking 2 videos backwards, or 3 videos, about the abilities for children to pee, the pee, because that's kind of came in my vision long time ago, and I can't figure out why that was significant. But apparently that there is so much magic in the pee they make from urine, from horse urine, for thyroid medication. So it's possible to use that for some reason, and I think in urine you have ammonia, so maybe that's as well for cleaning, and the little boys and girls probably too. But with the boys, that they are coming to the bathtub, they are peeing, and usually those little kids don't have the problem with crown bag, as we call this on this channel, the illness that is so horrific. So who knows, maybe there is something with that fluid that is going through our body and cleansing, and scientists are aware which part of the city has the more problem with COVID, because they can check the sewer. So there is so much related to that, and we don't know how eventually we will learn what was the real clue with my vision long time ago. But hopefully there is some message for scientists. Just go a little bit different direction and try to be more original, and just keep your eyes open for different possibilities. Okay, I want to connect with you. This is the wonderful energy rock, but I want to connect with all of you to imagine that we are holding the hands each other and creating huge bubble, like a glass bubble around the earth, and we're protected, we're protecting each other, we are including each other, that we are giving security to us, to people who feels lonely, who feels abandoned, who feels sick, who feels hungry, unhappy, depressed, and sick. And for Mary's husband as well, I want to say best wishes and the prayers. We all have to believe that there is this magical energy that we can create by holding each other's hands and giving each other a hug and loving each other. Okay? I love you. Bye-bye.